Actually, in Grandma's lifetime, she had 2 cows. We got spoiled on the first cow. The first cow's name was Bessie, and Bessie had horns this long. Well, we weren't afraid of Bessie because Bessie was a nice cow. My brother used to sit on Bessie's back, and my mom would hold the horn, and I have a picture with my brother. He was about 6 or something like that, sitting on Bessie's back. That's how gentle they were. I could say to our relatives who came from out of state, you could pet Bessie. I'd hold her horn so she didn't move her head. You could pet Bessie, and she'd swish her tail around and scare the flies away. And we'd talk to her, and she'd stand there and munch on the grass. So our experience with Bessie was wonderful. But then we knew that she hated the dog. So we didn't know the dog got into the pasture, and here was our relatives petting Bessie, and the dog came up. Well, you saw a cow in action. She bent her head down, stuck her horns down there. Well, because there was people and we were trying to get out of her way, she didn't get the dog. The dog was smart enough to run then, because he would have gotten jagged. But here in the process, my friend from another state got a big hunk of her bum pulled off of her. She had probably that much of a hole, and we had to take her to the doctors in the emergency room to get sewed up because she was in the way. Bessie didn't want to hurt her. Bessie was headed for the cow, but she was standing in the way. So off she went, and then Bessie was still after the cow. So that's my first cow story. My second cow story is Bessie died. Boo-hoo-hoo. That was my good cow. Then Grandma got Ginger. Well, Ginger had an attitude. Do you know any girls named Ginger? You better watch out, because I found out that Ginger would run after you. We had a field. Grandma lived over there, and we lived over here. And the cow field was between us. And so we had a gate, and Grandma had a gate. So what we would do, we would go up to the gate, and we look all the way down there, and look all the way over there, and we didn't see Ginger. She was probably way down there. The barn was way down there. She was probably down there in the barn. I didn't see her. So then we'd look and see if Ginger was anywhere around, and then we'd run as fast as we could to Grandma escape, because we found out about Ginger. Well, one night it was dark, and we didn't think anything of coming home in the dark in those days. There was nothing to it. But we had to go in the cow pasture to get home. We thought something about that. So Grandma sent us home, and I opened the gate. I remember this story so distinctly. I opened the gate, and I looked way down there, but it was dark. And I didn't hear anything. I couldn't see anything. I looked way over there. I didn't hear anything. I couldn't see it. I thought, oh, I'm clear. So I shut the gate, and I started running, because in case you didn't see Ginger, you better run anyhow. So I was running as fast as I could until I heard glump, 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 and it wasn't very far behind me, and she was giving it the full steam. Man, I was about 3/4 down in the field when I heard her, and I ran so fast, my feet couldn't keep up with me. I got to the gate just in time, opened the gate, shut the gate, locked it, and run into the yard, and she was right behind me, and she is mad she didn't get me. So what she did, she moved over. I ran up on the porch. I was scared to death. My family come out and stood on the porch wondering, what the heck's going on out here? We never saw her do this again, but she did it that night. She ran into the barbed wire fence with her head, and she was so mad, she backed up into the field, and she ran again with all her might against that barbed wire fence, and she backed up again and ran. And I thought to myself, when I grew up, that could have been me. I could be dead. That's how cows today, with no horns, will get you. And I said to a woman that lived in a church that we left, I said, Jerry, you have cows, didn't you? She says, yes. I said, and you walk inside the gate, don't you? She says, sometimes. I said, are you not scared when you're walking there? She says, when I go in there for a reason that I have to go in there, she says, I follow the fence. I have my arm on the fence as I'm walking around. And she says, if any one of them cows looks at me wrong, I step up and jump up. She said, I know what cows are like. They weigh about 2,000 pounds. And that's how they kill people. If you're on the fence and they can get to you, if they're mad at you, they'll just put their body weight up against you. So cows are not as docile as what you think they are. They're like a dog. You come across a ferocious dog, you should beware. You come across a real sweet, lovey dog, you should hug them all over the place, So that's my story about cows.